Office workers of Reddit, what's the most cringe-worthy reply all you've seen? Two of the partners at my old firm were having a not very discreet affair. Both were married to other people. Partner A was in charge of the summer associate program and sent an email around the firm with information on the summers, names, schools, etc. Who would be mentors for who, dates of events, etc. Partner B replied all to a 500+ person law firm, attorneys, paralegals, secretaries, everybody, I'm going to pork you so hard later. It was hilarious for several reasons, including his ultra seductive use of the word pork. I used to work at a law firm, and one day an email went out to everyone, about 40 people, that was about a specific case and had very little relevance to my job position, so I ignored it. A few minutes later I got another email from different attorney with a snarky response. Well, an argument started between these two attorneys, still replying all to the office, and after about 6 or so emails a third attorney wrote, yeah well my dad can beat up your dad. By the way, you have been sending this to the whole office. Dude mass mailed one of those great American gas out things to all 6,000+ employees. The CEO did a reply all saying something like Exxon is one of our biggest clients, and using company resources for your own political agenda is against company policy. I was a temp in a very large law firm for a bit. One day, a new lawyer was hired, and ours sent out the standard email to everyone introducing the new guy and congratulating him on his new position. New guy then replies all and asks the our person if his benefits package pays for a hair transplant procedure. I heard about someone where I worked that meant to send out an email to the whole department, a couple dozen people, to let them know that for their birthday they brought in donuts for everyone. People do this all the time. This guy, however, selected the email list for the whole company instead of the department. They were getting replies from employees in other countries saying things like, well I don't know you, and I can't travel there just for donuts, but happy birthday. We use instant messaging, and there have been a few times where someone messages the entire chat group complaining about someone else's work or just them being generally bad at their job. Usually that's quickly followed by oops, as if that's going to make it better. Put every name in the BCC if you are sending an email to a huge group so no one can hit reply all on accident. If they do, since they can't see names in the BCC, the reply won't go to anyone but the original sender. Edit, here is a better way. We had a rule at my old company, don't you dare ever reply all to a company-wide email. It was a simple rule that got broken a lot. As such, there was zero tolerance for people replying all. People have literally been fired for it. Anyway, one day an employee had his cheese stolen from the fridge, and he decided to send an email to everyone by replying all to a mass email. Employee, to the person who stole my cheese, I will find you, and you will regret what you've done. I saw an opportunity, so I took it. I replied all to his email with Liam Neeson's speech from Taken and replaced daughter with cheese. The CEO came by shortly after laughing at my joke. He explained that the employee has just completed a meeting with ours about the email, and that I will have a meeting as well about my reply. He said it was really funny, but that doesn't excuse the rule we have in place. Totally worth it. That email eventually became an inside joke with him and helped me make friends with our CEO. Called him Big Cheese after that. I worked in a very large government complex, and someone once replied all to an email that was sent to the 500+ employees with the caption, this guy looks like Reggie lol. The picture was of a large hairy man in a speedo. I have no idea who Reggie is, but if the caption was accurate then he should consider buying some hair trimmers. Nothing too awful, but our company used to solicit donations to a charity. It was totally voluntary, and I didn't contribute. A few weeks later, the accounting manager sent an email to everyone in the company saying, if the following people would still like to donate, please do so by this date. Name my name really? Just last week, an email was mistakenly sent to over 100,000 people in at least a dozen different countries. After about 45 minutes, there were a couple reply all responses. A decent amount of people replied all saying not to reply all, but didn't realize that the email server was backed up trying to send a few million emails. Some emails took over 10 hours from the time sent for me to receive them. This caused more people to say not to reply all, as they hadn't seen anyone else's response saying so yet. Over the next 12 hours, I and every one of the other 100,000 people received over 180 emails, all having to do with wondering what the original email was, or telling us not to reply all. Over 18 million emails in total. A back of the napkin estimation said it cost the companies tens of thousands of dollars. Edit. For those asking for my calculation. If all 100,000 people lost 5 minutes of working time to this mess, that is 500,000 minutes, which is 8,333.33 repeating. Of course man hours. I'll assume an average payment of $20 per hour per employee, which is likely a very low estimate. That's over $166,000 lost. Keep in mind that, while not everyone spent 5 minutes reading through and deleting the emails, there were also people like me who lost upwards of 5 to 6 hours due to waiting on emails to get me started on a new set of work. Okay, this one is technically not reply to all but close enough. The Dutch Railways has a timetable app with push notifications if your train is delayed. One morning last year basically all people in the Netherlands with this app, that's millions, receive a push message. This is a test message. Dear colleagues, I checked with software and all messages have been sent received. Followed by, just so Hadjo believes it too. Hadjo is a male's name. This one dude accidentally sent millions of people a message, just to prove his colleague wrong. This actually happened. I was in a group ML thread regarding what everyone wanted to go grab for lunch. Someone recommended this place called Persian Grill, which can accommodate many people. Someone in the thread posted, I'm down, haven't had Persian Grill in a while. Not my office division, but our oil field construction division sends in bids to secure future jobs. Lowest bidder wins. Winning a bid is sometimes scary because you wonder if you left out any estimation tables. Anyway, our estimator sends in the bid to the proper email, which goes to a secretary. Other competitors use the same email address to send in their bids also. Imagine our horror when the secretary sends a reply all with a thank you for submitting your bid for project X, and all the other bids are attached to this email. So every competitor sees where each other are increasing estimations and decreasing their costs. It's really both a tifo and cringe post. I used to work for one of the largest newspapers in the world. One day an email came through that was literally sent to the entire company worldwide. It was the contract a new hire who was a significant person at a rival paper was about to sign, with a salary that was astronomical. The body text essentially said give him whatever he wants. The woman who accidentally sent the email was kicked out of the building that day. There's so many, but my favorite was in reply to a congratulations on the successful project launch email, which went to the project team, their leaders, and some executive sponsors. Someone on the project team replied to all complaining about the project manager making them work late, or whatever. She explained that if she saw him in the parking lot she would run him over and squash his head like a pumpkin. It was followed a few hours later with an apology and an assertion that she was joking. In a high-end strategy consulting firm I worked in, there were a lot of farewell mass emails due to high turnover. One girl replied to one of those emails, "Thanks, you finally mustered up the courage. It motivates me to get an out. I'll definitely work on it." Pressing reply all was probably not intended. I was working in a college library media department, and one of my coworkers was about to move on to another job, and was starting to get snarky and burn his bridges a little. I think, because he felt bad leaving, or guilty or something. Anyway, in my nightly everything is okay, I closed it all down and there were no problems email to my boss. I included a paragraph about this coworker, and what a pain he was being, which I then sent to the entire library. Because I replied to one of my boss emails. Didn't write a new one. Dude's response when he came to work for his last day, "So, I guess we are not friends anymore." The large consulting firm I worked at was rolling out new laptops company-wide and sent out a mass email outlining the 2 laptops that employees could choose from once they received their notification that it was time to choose. Essentially a standard laptop or a smaller laptop that could be converted into a tablet, a Lenovo Yoga. Several people replied all, but my absolute favorite reply was simply, "I want the one that can be like iPad." All lowercase, 0 punctuation. Top-notch professionalism. Man, oh man. So there was this thing called the Great Distribution List disaster of 2015 within a section of the US government. Picture it. A distribution list with over 45,000 members. One person replies to the list, rather than just the originator, to please remove them from the list. It starts a shitstorm. Over the next 5 hours, thousands of people reply all to take them off the list as well. Thousands of people reply all telling everyone else to quit replying all. And then you have a few very funny people who did more clever things. It was a beautiful disaster 1010. Would like to have happen my third day at a new job again. Corporate sends out a company-wide email, something to the effect, "Congratulations to this year's winner of the Lisa Martinez Award for Excellence." Some brown-nosing line supervisor who didn't read the email did a reply all saying, "Congratulations to Lisa Martinez." Sadly, Lisa had died of cancer a few weeks before, and the award was created in her honor. Definitely cringe-worthy. My company is extremely large. It has more employees than many small towns. There was a glitch that caused some automated message meant for about 5 people to go out to the entire company. Several hundred people hit reply all and basically said "what is this" before the exchange admins were able to prevent them from doing that. So that was annoying. A hapless co-worker once replied all with a "where's the beef" pic in response to something I said about extracting the meat of the content. He didn't realize several teams were copied, including about 150 employees in India. Not sure where the beef is, but they sure don't have it.